I'm here with Graeme Wright Jr. Graeme was champion in 2001-2002 and introduced the Gould GR51 to the Hillclimb scene. The evolution of that car has dominated for the last few years, but Graeme's gone down a different development route with the Predator. The Predator is a very innovative car designed by ex-Formula One Lotus designer Martin Ogilvie. Graeme, would you run us through the technical spec of this car?
We went to use our Arrows engine and gearbox to try and capitalise on all this wasted equipment that the Formula One cars don't use anymore. So because of that, I got involved with Martin Ogilvie to do all the design work and things for us. But it's one of the most enjoyable things I've ever done, and it gets more rewarding every time we drive it.
So we've got a V10 engine here that was originally designed by Hearts
yes.
for Arrows in Formula One, and you're still using the Arrows F1 gearbox.
Yes, the gearbox at the moment seems to be a weak link with the car. The gearbox was designed to be hydraulically changed, and of course we are not using that technology, so the gears aren't quite adequate for what we are doing, but this winter time we're going to get that problem addressed and put something proper in it so we can do the championship next year again. The engine itself is really quite good. It's flexible. We can rev it from 3,000 up to 15,000 RPM. It's producing about 700 brake horsepower up at the top part. It has no inertia. It doesn't have a flywheel, and that makes it a little bit hard for doing hill climbing, especially getting off the starting line. And I think that's the one thing that does make me struggle compared to the other cars. But once it's going, it's great.
So. But I mean, tricky conditions this morning, and the damp conditions means you're having to feed that power in fairly gently.
Yes.
Second place in the runoff, that's pretty satisfying.
Very satisfying. A couple of months ago we went to Harewood and we couldn't even qualify it in the wet. So to come here now and to get second in the first runoff is I'd like to have won, obviously, but I'm still quite pleased with that. It's a good step forward. We're making good progress. We're learning an incredible amount about the car now that we are starting to get the mileage. And personally, I'm starting to feel more enthusiastic and excited to do a championship again, really, and get back into it.
So having gone through this learning curve, a hell of a lot has been achieved. Full assault on the championship next year, do you think?
Yeah, I'm hungry again. It's doing a championship from being in Scotland is a big commitment. I wouldn't want to do a championship unless I could be competitive. So I'm looking forward to it, really.
Well, we certainly wish you best of luck with that, because certainly the whole sound of the engine, the dynamics of the car really sort of get a lot of interest from the spectators. Yeah,
it is. It seems to be quite a good publicity type car, really. It does get a lot of attention, and I like that as well, really.
Well, certainly, you mentioned over 700 horsepower as far as engine power is concerned. What about weight of the car, Graeme? Because I know the gearbox casing is all carbon fibre, the bell housing's carbon, and it's
about 420 kilos. That's the roundabout figure the car is. I'm led to believe that's pretty light compared to anything else out there. That's one of the things that Martin Ogilvie was fanatical about, was the attention to detail and design on how to achieve everything you want to achieve with as less parts as possible and keep the weight down in the car. He's actually an amazing guy to work with. Just how he could think about everything that's so irrelevant and just be on top of it. It's just, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, I know I've seen the car with its bodywork off, and things like the way the dampers are mounted are all about getting the weight low in the car and low ultimate weight as well. So
it's quite good. But to be honest, there's a couple of Formula Student cars here, and they're quite interesting to look at, because the majority of these people are new into this sport, and they often do things that are completely different from anybody else because they think a different way. And I've looked at one or two of that cars today and thought, well, that's quite good. I suppose it's the nature of the sport we're in. We're always looking at other people's cars, studying things, so you've got to learn, and it's a good way to do it, really.
Well, every little bit counts in terms of the time here, and therefore, in terms of the development of the car, every little bit counts as well.
It does, yeah. It's I have to confess that because we're still developing the car, I have to try different things. I'm not quite sure about performance will be this afternoon, because I want to try things I haven't tried before. So, and because next year's the championship here, not this year, doesn't matter if I get points this year. Obviously I want to do well, but I'd rather try something that might be good or might not be good. So might blow a little bit hot and cold, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, you're driving a unique car here. You've got feedback from yourself only.
Yeah.
There's half a dozen Goulds out there and a few Pilbeams with, you know, a big pool of knowledge there. So you are really starting from a difficult position.
I am starting from a difficult position, but I would say I learnt a tremendous amount from David Gould, and I really enjoyed having a Gould and working with him. It's nice to speak to someone that can understand what a car's doing on the same level as a driver does, because he was a driver himself. And he's even now is a great help to me, actually. I admire him a lot, got a lot of respect for David. But it's true enough that it's a lot of years development went into these cars. And it is pretty hard doing it myself, but I do have people that I can phone and rely on, and people helping me out with the things that I can't work out myself, really. So that's good. It's a great learning curve.
There's a great spirit in hill climbing in terms of sharing knowledge, isn't there? And David can't resist a technical problem, can he? So I'm sure once you throw the question out there, he'll be back with some sort of help.
I think probably is the side of the sport I do enjoy the most is the evenings and things, actually. Well, like last night, for instance, although I don't drink much. But, But I was in the back of my lorry having a whiskey with Martin Groves, so it was great. A little bit of banter backwards and forwards. I think we have a mutual respect for each other, but yet we like having little digs at each other as well. So it tends to be quite friendly all the time, though, so it's good. But no, it's just the whole atmosphere of this is great. It's relaxed, it's laid back. Obviously, you put your helmet on and blind mist you're away, but the rest of the time is very enjoyable.
You're absolutely right. We really look forward to seeing you on the scene regularly next year, Graeme. Have a great final run today, and we really look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
After several successful years in small single-seaters, Graeme Wright Jr. took British Hillclimb titles in 2001 and 2002 in the then new Gould GR51 with the equally new and revolutionary DTM Opel V6 engine. Even more revolutionary is his Martin Ogilvy designed Predator V10, built by the Scot at his Aberdeen base. Since the car first came onto the scene over 3 years ago, it's been in a state of constant development, and the combination of the Scot's spectacularly rapid driving style and the unique exhaust note of the Brian Hart designed ex-Formula 1 Arrows V10 engine has really drawn the crowds. He's made only occasional appearances this year, and gearbox problems have blunted White's otherwise stupendous form. But as Graeme said in his interview, a winter gearbox development programme should iron out the remaining bugs in this charismatic machine. Undoubtedly, the combination will pose a serious threat to contenders in the 2009 British Hillclimb Series. In fact, it would be a brave man that would bet against this talented driver and engineer securing a third championship title.
I'm here with Martin Groves after a trying day at Prescott in difficult conditions. Martin, first place in the first runoff, third place in the second.
Yeah, I was very pleased with the first one. Probably best time I've had up here on a wet track, and I was pleased. It was quite a convincing win, so more than happy with that.
Yeah, in difficult conditions it did look like a spectacular win, that's for sure. I was watching you qualify for the second runoff, and going round Orchard Bend you had one hell of a moment. That looked pretty tricky to catch.
Yeah, that was a bit of a tank slapper. It went several ways, I think. Unfortunately that left me sort of midway in the qualifying order, and therefore, first of all, the moment I felt I can't really push it through there too hard through Orchard Corner, so maybe a little bit too cautious there. And I knew that, once I'd set a reasonable time, that would give the rest of the guys following some idea of how good the track was. So I really knew that when I got to the finish, that wasn't going to be enough.
Yeah, at that point, third was good enough for you, eh?
It was inevitable, really, that people running behind me were going to improve on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been a long year. First place in the championship has gone to Scott. You can't catch that at all now.
No, that's it. That's a very worthy championship for him as well. The idea now, I think, is obviously be nice to secure second place. Trevor's still got a chance of that. So we've got to go well at Lowton and the final meeting at Doon. be nice to finish the year with more wins with Scott. So that's the next target.
That's the
Only
next
one
challenge
behind now. So
there's always something to go for, eh? The competitive edge.
absolutely, you've got to find something, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And great support from your family as always.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I couldn't do it without their support. If they didn't enjoy coming, then it wouldn't be something that seriously I could compete in this championship, because 17 meetings, I think it's probably only Formula One that do more rounds than we do, and they have hundreds of people.
Yeah,
We're just a very small team, and I need the support from the family, otherwise I just couldn't do it.
Small team, seems like a big crowd around me, I must admit. Mandy, you're looking forward to some summers at home or some time at home now?
Yes, we might actually be able to cut the grass or haymake, depending which. Yeah.
I think this weather prevents most of the grass cutting, doesn't it?
That's right. Yeah, it's true enough.
Well, team, thanks very much for your time, and best of luck for the remaining rounds. And for next season, of course. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
So after a difficult year beset with mechanical problems, off-course excursions and plain bad luck, Martin Groves has just failed to equal the legendary Ken Wharton's record of 4 consecutive British Championship titles. When driver and car were on top form, the old Groves magic returned, and we saw plenty of examples of that as he took 2 new outright Shelsley Walsh records, reigned supreme at his second home, the Val de Terres in Guernsey, or swapped wins with Scott Moran at Barban, Loughton, Doon and Wiscombe. But in the end, it was Moran's sheer consistency that took the title in a year that Groves was perhaps less well prepared. Now, with Trevor Willis breathing down his neck, he'll need to maintain top form to the end of the season to ensure that he hangs on to his second place on the championship table. But will he be back next year? We'll just have to wait and see. Join us again in a few moments for more action from Prescott.